You know, of all the musicians that have come from Mississippi and all the types of music that have emerged from here, there may be one genre that doesn't exactly leap out that we've made a significant contribution in, and that's classical music. But think about this. Mississippi Opera is the ninth oldest continuously operating opera company in the nation. And the Natchez Festival of Music actually started off as the Natchez Opera Festival. And then you've got the Southern Opera Theater Musical Company at the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg. And all of those entities have one common denominator right now, and that's Jay Dean. It's the last rehearsal Saturday afternoon at Thalia Mara Hall in Jackson. Mississippi Opera is staging another of its ambitious productions tonight, and this is the last touch-up before this evening's performance. Jay Dean is conducting. It's been an interesting journey that's taken Jay from a youngster in a small town in Georgia.
I mean, people in my hometown didn't know the difference between opera and okra.
To becoming the artistic director of Mississippi Opera, as well as the artistic director of the Natchez Festival of Music, and the artistic director of Festival South in Hattiesburg, in addition to his musical duties at the University of Southern Mississippi. Now, Jay Dean wasn't a child prodigy. As a teenager, his musical horizons didn't expand much beyond Elvis and the Beatles.
I grew up playing in rock and roll bands that I created. There weren't none there, and so I, put those together. Played in my high school band. Never really thought much about orchestras or opera or anything that I do today because we had nothing.
So where did this ravenous appetite for the original long-hair music come from? Well, it sparked from growing up in a small town where there wasn't much to do.
There was nothing to do in my hometown except go to the movies or get in trouble, which I did both regularly. In those days, there was no such thing as a multiplex theater. There was one screen, and the movies always changed on Wednesdays and changed again on Saturdays, and I was at the movies every Wednesday and every Saturday. And I remember going to a movie once called Carmen, and I didn't know that it was an opera. I just went to the movie because it was there. And I experienced something that was life-changing for me in that there was a quality of music and a quality of singing that I was experiencing that I'd never experienced, and I thought, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And one of the people in that film was Placido Domingo. And I had the pleasure of sitting next to him at a news conference 40 years later and saying that very thing, that I thought that was the most beautiful voice I'd ever heard.
So hearing the intricacies of the classics was to Jay Dean's life what the place in the movie where it turns from black and white to color is to The Wizard of Oz. Well, not only for him, but for a bunch of folks in Mississippi who've enjoyed Jay Dean's musical taste and depth of his selections for performances from USM to Natchez to all over the state with the Mississippi Opera. Later now, it's opening night. Jay Dean makes one last walk through backstage. The chorus is rehearsed. The orchestra is rehearsed. The performers are ready to take the audience to new levels of emotion. And probably not one of the performers here tonight is getting rich doing this. If you only do in life what you do just to make money, how sad you are the day the money's gone and you realize you have nothing to show for it. But this audience is enriched tonight with a masterful performance. The performers are enriched, sharing their talents with the audience. There's at least one life lesson to be learned from the opera itself, and the purpose for their being is fulfilled, and a whole host of gifted artists performing here tonight. And this is another far-reaching influence Jay Dean has had over music in Mississippi, to give guidance to young students wanting to pursue music as a career during his long tenure as the Director of Orchestral Activities at the University of Southern Mississippi and Associate Dean of the Arts at USM.
People will come to me and they'll say, I want to major in music. And I always ask them, why do they want to do that? Because it's something that you really need to think about, because most of us will never make a lot of money in this profession. I mean, some people make a lot of money in this profession, but most won't. But it's like any art. You do it because you have to, not because you want to. Great writers don't write because they want to. They write because they have to. Great painters, great sculptors, great composers, they don't do that because they want to. They don't get up every day and just say, well, I think I'd like to do this. There's something inside them that drives them to do that. And I think anybody who is any good at anything they do has that same burning passion to do that, that same desire. You have to wake up every day and you have to live and breathe and eat whatever it is that you do in order to be the best that you can possibly be. And once music bites you, and once it becomes part of your fabric, you really have a hard time not doing it. And if it's something that you get away from, you really miss it. And I'm sure it's that way with other things as well. I'm sure it's that way with painters and sculptors. It's something that just draws you back. So I always tell students, don't do it because you want to. Do it because you have to.
Thanks for joining us. If you like what you see, subscribe to Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Till next time, I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.
Down Mississippi.